Simple way to get everyone to accept the mark of the beast. Starve them out, make them homeless, and keep them sick. Oh, and as far as you talking about the EBT card holder leaving stores, that's not going to happen. You see, all it takes is for one city, one store, it doesn't matter what it's happened to. The news gets out there immediately. Guess what happens? Trump sends out the military, not the National Guard. I think y'all forgetting. He got the military on standby. What we saw on the videos that they meeting, that was what they wanted to see. But you got to remember the camera goes turns off, and they had their own private conversation. Why do you think some of them stepped down and got the fuck away? Because of the news that they heard. But I'm gonna get deeper into this. You see, they need us to beg them, because martial law is going to come. Once anybody think about losing, it's going to come. You're stuck in your home. Now, all of you out there that's talking bad about the EBT card holder, thinking to yourself, yo, me and my family okay. I'm going to be honest with you, no, you're not. No, you're not. One of two things going to happen. One, it's going to run out eventually. Two, when ICE, National Guards, or whoever come to your home and don't think you're above nobody else, that they can't come inside your home. Guess what? Their mission is to make sure they make it as uncomfortable as they possibly can for you. It has to be done. Make the people beg. Cripple them. Knock them down to the ground. So then when they come out and say, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wipe away your credit. We're going to do all of this. Make sure you eat. We got 15-minute cities, homes for all of you. But all you got to do is just take this little piece right here, and you and your family okay. You know what? Without a second thought, millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans are going to do it. The ones who don't do it, they're going to try to put up a fight for a minute. You're going to have many people do it. But here's the problem with it. When you're looking at your kids starving, your wife, your husband, or even your damn self starving, you're going to be like, you know what? It don't matter anyway. I'm going to die. You're going to take that mark of the beast. Get ready for it.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakadash. I want to give double honor to the elder apostle and the elder bishop of Great Millstone, who rule well in teaching us the truth, 100% securely. And I'd like to give a salutation to the men out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Akwak who are listening and studying to show ourselves approved. All right, so this is another quick lesson. And it's pretty much another Watchman report, man, because I got a couple of things that I wanted to show. All right, and not only just this video that we just saw in the beginning, where you got this Jake, you know, this old school all right, who basically broke down the whole, or what I say, summarize exactly what Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is pretty much trying to do. This is why, you know, when we read scriptures like 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, where it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, okay? That word devices goes into schemes, okay, plans, right? And so one of their many plans is they quote it, you know, ordo ad chaos, all right, which stands for order out of chaos. In English, it's order out of chaos, right? And so they're creating a chaos in order to establish that order, all right? So right now, this what you're seeing is the chaos, and then they're going to come with that solution, which is the order, which is the mark of the beast, all right? And that mark of the beast is that RFID CHIP, all right? We've constantly been telling you that, and here it is, all right? We're basically a couple of steps closer to it. They already got the infrastructure set up, okay? And that's another one of the reports that I wanted to go into, which I'm pretty sure you probably already been noticing it as of late, all right? And so what this Jake is going into, he just broke down Revelation chapter 13 and 16, okay? He also broke down 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter and also the 16th chapter. Okay? You know, matter of fact, we read a little bit of Second Ezra, because he did mention, you know, why everybody talking shit about the people that got the EBT. All right, you're not above it. Okay, you might think that you prepared for it just because you don't have the EBT snap and stuff like that. You're not above it. You notice when Revelation 13 and 16 it says he causes all, okay, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, in verse 17, that no man might buy or sell, say that he have the mark. Right. That's what that's going into. All right, nobody is exempt from this chaos that's getting ready to come, which hence is Jacob's trouble. Okay, and so when you read 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and we actually went into this earlier today, you know, me and the Akim, Bahaya, Awar, and Qadar Sahan, okay, we went into this earlier, and we broke down these precepts, okay? And here we go again. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. We'll start at verse 14. And it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. In verse 16, for there shall be seditions among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see, the course of their actions shall stand in their power, meaning people is going to take matters into their own hand. The government is not going to be in control. That's how bad it's going to be out here, okay? And so when you see all of this chaos going on, that's when the true devil, all right, is going to come with that solution, is just like he just described. Okay, when you see your loved one starving, you're going to line up and you're going to get that mark. Okay, but as for the hopeful elect, we're going to resist it at all costs. Okay, we're going to resist it. All right, Lord willing, we're part of that number that's going to resist these devils. Okay, and why? And the reason why is because we're leaning on these scriptures. Okay, the Lord said not to worry about it, but this is going to be our test. All right, that what he just described, that's going to be an ultimate test for the hopeful elect. All right, we're going to be tested just like Job was tested. When you read Job, the 2nd chapter, and it say about the 9th verse. Okay, because even Job's wife came up against him, because Job was tested to see if he was going to keep his integrity, to see if he was going to continue to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, so this is Job chapter 2. We'll start at verse 7, okay, because this is the tempter Satan, right, because it says, so went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with swords and boil from the sole of his foot unto his crown. All right, and he said, and he took him a posture to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, doest thou still retain thy integrity? Curse Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, and shall not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lip. You see? And now you read up a couple of verses above this, you know, Satan and the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, was having a conversation about Job. Okay? Like when you read verse 3, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and eschewed evil, and still he hold fast his integrity, although thou hast moved me against him to destroy him without cause. You see? And that's the spirit we got to be in this day and time. All right? That's that test. Okay? The Lord wanted to hold on to that integrity, okay? Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. All right, that's what we're heading into, because we're about to come into times where we're going to see our kids starve, okay? So we got to hold on to these precepts like what Apostle Paul said. You know, he that have a wife, be as though you had none, okay? You got to disregard all of the things of this world and cleave onto Yahweh Shai, because when you lose something, the Lord is going to give it back to you tenfold. You got to hold on to that, okay? So that's one aspect of it. And so I also want to go into, let's get this other piece of information. All right, bear with me for a minute. All right, and so this is another video, okay, of a podcast, and the title of this video. Let's get it real quick. It's titled "We're in danger. They're using AI to frame black people." Okay, and that's pretty much the Esau Edom, so-called white man, about to come down having great wrath. So they're using all of these technology just to, you know, not only stir up the whole nation to, you know, go in and get that market of beef, but they're also about to come down onto Yasharala, okay? Yasharala, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinas, and Native American, okay? They got all kinds of weapons that's formed against us, okay? And so that's why when you look at this, it's almost as like when you look at the title, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone been saying it for many generations and generations. And now you got Jake, okay, pretty much among the 2/3, they're shocked, okay, they don't believe it, okay? And so now it's almost like it's too late for them to turn around and turn to the Lord. Even though you still got time, but that time is slowly but surely running out, okay? So it's best for you to repent, all right, and put on a whole armor of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, quoting Ephesians the 6th chapter, okay, because these devils about to come down having great wrath, man, okay? And so while I was looking at this video, you know, it kind of upsetted me a little bit, but it was like, it doesn't surprise me because, you know, they just now coming around to the fact that Esau Edom, so-called white man, about to come down having great wrath, all right? These are the same type of people that will come up against the Hebrew Israelites saying that we're a hate group while we're giving out this type of warning to let you know. And so the fact that they're seeing this and they're coming out with these videos saying that, you know, they coming after us using ICE and so on and so forth, it's shocking them now. But again, the prophet out on the highways and byways has been preaching this thing day in and day out, okay? So, I'm going to play a little bit of this. Before I do that, let's go ahead and read the copyright disclaimer. Alright, so this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1996. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tip the balance in favor of fair use. All right, this is fair use, not using it for monetary gains or anything like that. This is fair use and criticism, okay, of this very video, okay? And so this is a podcast by Big Kids, okay? He got I think he got some good content there. This is the video I wanted to report on because I mentioned it on the highways and byways earlier today, all right? And this is the podcast where he basically saying we're in danger and they're using AI, and you see how shocking that he was, okay? So that right here, but this is the piece of information that we've been saying, because this is a video by, okay, let's pull it up, because this is a news app that we often go to just to get, just to pull up news article to do lessons. But this is a news app, but it also have AI generated. All right, so this is the proof that this is the report that AI pretty much taken over this whole society. All right, so this is what I typed in. It says Israeli Council stated the biggest threat to Israel are the young Black American generation. Okay, and so when I typed it in the search engine, nothing really popped up. But right here, when you scroll over, you show there's no videos, anything like that. See, no results found. But when you scroll over to Inbot, okay, which is AI, all right, and this is what popped up. Okay, so this is my first time noticing this in the news app. Okay, so this news app is pretty much an app that be having a bunch of articles of news and updated news and stuff. So when you type on it Inbot, okay, which is AI, and it literally says, I gather content related to your inquiry about an alleged statement by an Israeli Council claiming that the biggest threat to Israel are the young Black American generation. And it says, after searching, there is no credible, verifiable, mainstream news coverage or official transcript confirming that Israeli Council made this explicit statement in 2025 or recent years. And it says several videos and social media posts reference or speculate about such a claim, but none provide direct quote, official source, or reliable contact. Notably, some of the reference sources are unavailable or do not display their content. YouTube.com, Facebook.com, YouTube. Okay, and it said, however, this is broader, well-documented discussion about how younger Black Americans, including many Black Americans, are increasingly less sympathetic to Israeli government policy, especially regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. For example, a 2024 opinion analysis in the Hill noted that Gen Z is increasingly unsympathetic. All right, so you see it. All right, and then when you click on YouTube.com, it'll lead you right to a video. All right, actually earlier, which is crazy, I actually had TikTok in here, okay, but somehow I changed it up. So whenever I did this search engine, Facebook wasn't in here at first, okay, but we'll go ahead and click on this YouTube, and then you're gonna see. All right, and that's the video, okay. So let me pause it for a little bit, and then we're gonna listen in. And that's another thing once I noticed is that these are the same people that you cannot speak about, but they can do whatever they can. They can speak against other people, but when you speak against them, you know, you're gonna get that anti-Semitic. You know, your resources might get taken out and so on and so forth. This is how you know these are the wicked that we've been talking about. Okay, because it says no credible news. Right, no media outlet have been made about this, all right? And so that just tells you something right there, okay? So without further ado, let's play this, and then we're just going to get a subscription and close this thing out. And we're going to play the other video as well, too.
Of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varnai Shor. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young Black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some Black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem with Israel is with the younger generation of the Black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this. Not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young Black people in the United States.
Okay, so now you have that. All right, now let's get into this Jake right here, okay? This Jake that we got the podcast called A Big Kiss. All right, and so that video that we just showed with the Israeli consul, the Israeli government official, that video has been circling around the whole body. Like the whole body of GMS brought that video out just to warn the children of Israel, okay, that what's getting ready to come down the pipeline. All right, so now you're seeing the result of these devils using AI technology to pretty much not only slander. That's basically, matter of fact, let's read that real quick. Let's get that Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. And we'll read that in the blue letter. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. And that reads, and it said, therefore rejoice ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitant of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. You see, and then when you go into this word devil, okay, the Greek word devil, let's pull it up real quick. The Greek word devil.
Strong's G 1228. Diabolos.
And it said, biblical outline usage, prone to slander, slanderers, accusing falsely. You see that? Accumulator, false accuser, slanderer. Metaphor applied to a man by opposing the cause of God, okay, God, which is the Heavenly Father, his name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai, okay, so metaphorically, a man that applied who by opposing the cause of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him, all right, and that's who we're talking about. These are the people that control America, okay. Strong's definition, diabolos, and it says, a seducer, especially Satan, false accuser, devil, slanderer. All right, let's define slanderer real quick. A slanderer is a person who maliciously and falsely harms another's reputation by speaking damaging, untrue statement about them. All right, that's what a devil is. Okay. How many, and the devil that we're talking about is the same people that control the media, and that's why when we pull up that article about that Israeli consul who basically said the biggest threat to Israel is the young black African American generation, all right, and then all of a sudden when she made that statement, all of a sudden you don't hear no news article about that, no article was written about that. I wonder why. All right, okay, but you see the video and you heard it clear as day. Okay, so let's get into this video real quick.
If y'all don't like or share or hype or subscribe, listen. Y'all need to like this video. Out of all videos, I'm gonna ask you, please, let's get this video into the algorithm because our people need to be warned.
So now you want to act like a prophet when the prophets of the great millstone, the brothers out there on the highways and byways, been pushing the same message. We've been telling you, we've been warning you already. You ain't saying nothing new. And that's the frustrating part about it. You ain't saying nothing new. When you get on your podcast for monetary gain, and you want to act like you heard this from us. You heard from the prophets of the elders of the great millstone. Stop playing out here, Jake.
New AI is very, very dangerous, y'all. Y'all not gonna believe what they're using this AI for. Watch this. Check this out, y'all.
There has been accounts using my face, telling stories that I have never told, sharing news I have never shared. AI is honestly getting out of hand.
Get this, they on IG. Federal government is involved for something that I didn't do. Did not post military video.
AI is now being used to put a target on black people's backs, putting us in situations we would never end, saying or doing things that we never did.
If your government can steal your content in order to weaponize a falsity, a lie against Americans, in order to get Americans death threats, that's your government doing that to you. What else could they do?
And it's getting scary.
Share this video, please. I'm begging y'all. Don't click off this video. Watch it straight through. I'm begging you. Let's get this out there because this AI is dangerous, y'all. Check it out.
As the Department of Homeland Security shared an AI-doctored video, making it look like a group of black teens was threatening ICE agents, which was 100% fake. But that didn't stop DHS from sharing the video and threatening those kids on their official X page with the post that got over 37 million views, putting those kids in real danger from a MAGA conservative base that has already shown their bigotry and penchant for violence loud and clear.
Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country.
And in a completely separate situation, AI was used to steal the face and identity of a black.
All right, so that's how much more you want to hear, man? But so he said share, which okay, cool, but you should have been sharing the videos of the Apostle and the Elder of Great Millstone, especially when we read scriptures like 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. I'm going to get that, but let's read this Revelation 12 and 12 again, okay? Therefore rejoice, ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Okay, we already went to the definition of devil, which is basically a deceiver and a slanderer, okay? These are the people that control the media. Those are the devils, and they are the slanderer. All right, and he says he come down having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. They know that their time is running out. They know their time of rulership is over. Finito. They're finished. Okay, and so with that being said, is that they're about to come attack Yasharahla. Okay, ye men of Israel, listen to this report. You're going to come and attack Yasharahla, which is your so-called Negroes, your so-called Latinos, your so-called Native Americans, okay? And of course you have your speckled bird due to Deuteronomy, was it 28 and 48, where the nation of Israel has been scattered throughout all other nations. So they're going to look like pretty much everybody under heaven, okay, under the sun, all right? So the nation of Israel is going to look like all nations, but the majority of nation of Israel is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, okay. So that we just to throw that out there. So they're going to come down having great wrath, which is the main reason why they're going to attack the whole world. All right, ultimately they're against the nation of Israel. Okay, and so yeah, man, let's get this 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. All right, this is that warning that we've been telling you about. This ain't nothing new. This don't surprise us, but this Jake right here running around, share this video. Hey, man, the prophets and the elders have been saying this for years, okay? 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You see, we're not ignorant of his devices. When we go to the word devices in the blue letter, the Greek word is
Strong's G 3540, Naima.
And it says Naima, biblical outline uses a mental perception, thought, and evil purpose that would stink the mind, thought, or purpose. Okay, and it says a perception, i.e. purpose, or intellect, disposition itself, device, mind, thought. Okay, and so devices goes into their plans, all right? The things that they think about. Like get this Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. And it says, woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. You see, they have the power to do so they're going to practice it. All right? And so this is another lesson that these devils, they're going to try to slander you. Okay? They're going to slander Yashua Allah. That's all they're trying to do. That's what this lesson is for. That's what this report is for. And then you see in a report of AI slowly but surely taking over. You seeing every time you look up something, especially on Google, the first thing you see is AI overview. Okay? Now we got the news app where you can get all kinds of news on it, but you have a AI taking over that. Okay? You got Chat GPT. All right? All of that is leading right to that beast system, which ultimately you're going to be able to take that mark, which lines up perfectly with that video, that first video. Okay, that's what everything is heading into. Okay, but as far as for the people that's in control, this is how you know that they are not of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Even they call themselves the Ish people. JOOISH. Them people, they claiming to be of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but they disregard this very law, which is Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16. And it said, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer. Okay, talebearer is somebody that basically a slanderer, what the devil is doing among thy people. Okay, a talebearer is a person that spreads rumor. Okay, somebody that spreads lies. Okay, so thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay? So that's the law right there. But you see these devils, they're doing it every single day. Okay? Every single day they slander the so-called black people. Okay? Showing you that they're not the people, because they would be applying this very law right here. Okay? Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 18. He that hideth hatred with lying lip, and he that utters a slander is a fool. All right? The very people that control this society are fools. That's what the Lord called them. They're fools. Okay? You know, even King David said, hide me from the secret counsels of the workers of iniquity. All right? That's that prayer. Ultimately, King David was putting on that armor. Okay? Because he know what these devils are about. He said, hide me from the workers of iniquity, Well, I believe that's Psalms 49:11, but we're going to keep going with the precept that I had. Okay, this is Psalms 101 and verse 5, and it says, whoso privately slander his neighbor, him would I cut off, him that has an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Okay? And so this is the Heavenly Father, which his name is Yahweh, is going to cut this place off. This is why America, as we know it, is getting ready to be destroyed, man. Okay? And due to the things that they're doing, they're basically destroying the whole earth, man. The food is bad, okay? Every time we look up, there's something going on, all right? The media, the music, okay? Yeah, I mean, what more can you say? These people are the worst of the worst, okay? But they, they run around and they destroying the earth. And the Lord said, I will destroy them which destroyed the earth, man. Okay? Let's get Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 9. And it said, an hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. You see, through knowledge shall the just be delivered. And what knowledge are we talking about? Through the knowledge of the scripture. Okay? Isaiah 33 and 6, where it said, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Strength and salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. You see, Luke the paraphrasing, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right? And so the hopeful elect is going to be delivered out of these slanders, out of these lies that the devil is about to cast upon our people. Okay, ye men of Israel. All right. Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach, chapter 28 and verse 13. And it said, curse the whisperer and the double tongue. All right. These people are also known as the serpent. Okay. A serpent have a double tongue. They speak with a double tongue or forked tongue. Okay. Matter of fact, let's see what the definition of a forked tongue means. Let's see forked tongue or a double tongue meaning. Let me look that up real quick definition. All right, double tongue meaning. A double tongue means to be deceitful, hypocritical, or untrustworthy by saying one thing to one person and the opposite to another. All right, it describes a person who is inconsistent in their speech, often saying things to someone's face while speaking differently behind their back. The term also has a meaning in music, referring to wind instrument technique, a rapid staccato notes. All right, so basically that's your politician. All right, I constantly also bring up the fact that when Joe Biden was in office, he had his whole campaign of him saying that he didn't want to mandate that C-19 situation. But 6 months later, when he got into the presidency, he was rattling off a whole bunch of records of how people went along with that C-19 situation. And then he said to the other people, the 30%, he said, my patience is running thin. Okay, showing you that double tongue, that forked tongue. That's these devils. Okay, these are the people that control America, aka Babylon the Great. Okay, so when you go back and you read Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach 28 and 13, it said, curse the whisper and double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. Okay, they destroyed many that were at peace. Did they not do that to the Native American? Okay, all over the world. Did they not do that to them? Okay? So this is why these places have to go. And these devils have to be in subjection unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. Let's get that. And it says, these 6 things doeth the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look. Are these devils not proud? A lying tongue. Are these devils, do they speak lies? Okay, we just showed videos of them slandering, they slander people by using AI technology, okay? And hand that shed innocent blood, did they not do that? See, this is their whole track record. We are witness to these damn these devils, man. And heart that devises wicked imagination, feet that be swift and run into mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and him that soweth discord among brethren. You see, so these are all of the things that the Lord said he hate. And the people that's in control, they do every last one of these things, man. And you jump down to verse 15. So like in verse 19, it says, a false witness that speaks lies, and him that soweth discord among brethren. Okay, that right there, they do that almost every day, man. I was earlier today, I actually was watching this I think it was a documentary on Netflix called The Perfect Neighborhood. That's probably a good watch, and that pretty much break down everything that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, does on Yasharala, period. Okay, when you watch that documentary, you will see that this verse 19 fits them to the T. All right, so that's that. Let's get James chapter 4 and verse 11. We get a couple more precepts, we'll close this out, man. This is just to show you that, hey, man, we've been saying this for the longest. All right, you just now catching on, Jake. James chapter 4 and verse 11. And it says, speak not evil one to another, brethren. He that speaketh evil to his brother and judge his brother speaketh evil of the law and judge the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art no doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou to judge another? You see, and that, hey, man, that's why Yahweh Yahushua about to destroy this place and those people who claiming to be the people of Yahweh Yahushua, even though they don't do no law, none of that. They basically showing themselves to be a hypocrite. All right, you know where they are, man. The very same people you can't criticize in the media. All right, and so let's get 1 Peter 2 and 1. And these are all commandments, okay? And the people they control, they don't do none of these things, man. This is why this is our book, okay? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is us. This is our book, man. And it says, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisy and envy and evil speaking, as a newborn baby desiring to secure milk of the word, that we may grow thereby. And so be ye have tasted the Lord, Yahweh Yahushua is gracious. Okay? And so that's how we're supposed to be coming in this thing, man. We're supposed to have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? And so another thing that I wanted to bring up is when you go back to the original of the first video, we're going to play that again real quick. Bear with me for a minute. All right, here we go.
Simple way to get everyone to accept the mark of the beast. Starve them out, make them homeless.
That's that Ordo ad Ko right there. Starve them out, make them homeless. All right, they already getting rid of the food stamp. They're going for Section 8 next.
And keep them sick. Oh, and as far as you talking about the EBT card holder leaving stores, that's not going to happen. You see, all it takes is for one city, one store, it doesn't matter what it's happened to. The news gets out there immediately. Guess what happens?
They can use AI technology. They can easily use AI technology. We already showed you the video. They already fabricated a lie on a young Jake. All right. Now imagine how much more technology they have right there just to bring up a news article and fabricate the whole event and have the whole world believing it. Okay. There you have it right there.
Thompson's out the military, not the National Guard. I think y'all forget it. He got the military on standby. What we saw on the videos that they meeting, that was what they wanted to see. But you got to remember, the camera turns off. And they had their own private conversation. Why do you think some of them stepped down and got the fuck away? Because of the news that they heard. But I'm going to get deeper into this. You see, they need us to beg them. Because martial law is going to come. Once anybody think about losing, it's going to come. You're stuck in your...
That's Revelation 13 and 16. He called us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell, say that he have a mark, or the number of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. You know, what does that say? Let's get it real quick. I believe I'm almost quoting it word for word. We read it so much that it's just in you. Yeah, in verse 18 it says, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You see, 666. But when you have to go back up to verse 15, Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay? And that is the ultimate test, especially with the hopeful elect, is going to have to receive. All right? We're going to have to be like Job. All right? The prophet Job. We're going to have to be like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay? We're going to have to be like Daniel in the lion den. Okay? You know, that's that ultimate test. Okay?
Now, all of you out there that's talking bad about the EBT card holder and stuff, think to yourself, yo, me and my family okay. I'm going to be honest with you, you're not. But you're not. One or two things going to happen. One, it's going to run out eventually. Two, when ICE, National Guards, or whoever come to your home and don't think you're above nobody else that they can't come inside your home, guess what?
There shall be sedition among men invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. The courts of their actions shall stand in their power. That is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter.
Their mission is to make sure they make it as uncomfortable as they possibly can for you. It has to be done. Make the people beg. Cripple them. Knock them down to the ground. So then when they come out and say, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wipe away your credit. We're going to do all of this. Make sure you eat. We got 15-minute cities. Homes for all of you. But all you got to do is just take this little piece right here, and you and your family okay. You know what? Without a second thought, millions and millions and millions.
And that's another piece of his personality. See, with all of this hell going on, all of this hell about to break loose, he said, all you got to do is take that one picture, and that look, that's how these devils look. That's another example of his forked tongue. Psalm chapter 55 and verse 21. And it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right, and so in this case right here, they're drawing a sword by the MOTB. Okay, the RFIDCHIP. They're going to draw their sword, try to make you worship the beast. Okay, so ultimately they're trying to get you to worship them and not the true Heavenly Father, which his name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, his name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, they're trying to make you depart from the Lord. All right, they're creating all of the chaos just so you can depart from the Lord. That's what's going on. All right, and that's going to be your test. You're going to ultimately decide whether you're going to serve the devil. All right, you're going to either suffer and serve the devil, or you're going to just roll over, basically roll over and serve the devil, or you're going to, bite that bullet and serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and trust and believe that he's going to deliver you out of that. That's basically what's going to boil down to, man. Let's continue.
Millions and millions of Americans are going to do it. The ones who don't do it, they're going to try to put up a fight for a minute. You're going to have many people do it. But here's the problem with it. When you're looking at your kids starving, your wife, your husband, or even your damn self starving, you're going to be like, you know what? It don't matter anyway. I'm going to die. You're going to take that mark of the beast. Get ready for it.
Yeah. And the people that do take it, they're gonna lack faith, man. And the scriptures tell you what's going to happen. And so this is what the Lord says is going to do when in that situation, man. We get what is it? 1 Peter. Trying to remember. I think it's 1 Peter chapter 2. Count it not strange. Yeah, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. Okay. Just reading that earlier. All right. And it says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trials, which is to try you, as though some strange things happen unto you. Verse 13, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of the anointed suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye shall be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached with the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of Yahweh rests upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other man's matter. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him be glorified. Let him glorify Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai on this behalf. You see. And verse 17, for this time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which is your 2/3. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? Verse 18, if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? And we can answer that question when you go to Revelation chapter 21. I believe about the 8th verse or the 7th verse. Right, so we'll start at verse 7. And it said, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. So he that don't take that mark of the beast shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. Verse 8, we're going to answer your question in 1 Peter chapter 14, verse 17 through 18. And it said, but the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. You see, and that's what's going to happen to those who obey not the gospel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay? And so, you know, that's pretty much the point. Lord willing, this is edifying. We're going to end it off with Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. All right, because it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay? And so you keep the word of the patient, which is the words that are written in the scriptures. So any type of suffering you're going through, you're going to think of a precept. You're going to think of a scripture, what the Lord told you to do. You're obeying the gospel. All right? Because you kept that word of his patience while you were suffering. The Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to keep you from the hour of temptation. Okay? So that's pretty much the point. Lord willing, this is edifying. With that, let me give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, who were well in teaching us the truth, 100% securely. Shalom, 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 Kwam Yasharala, shalom.